Hi guys, FrostFangs here, back again with another Paladins video. Going to be going over and talking about the PTS balance changes that have happened since the last video I have on the channel. Nico tweeted something similar, or possibly even just this a day or two ago, but because they weren't necessarily final, I didn't cover them. Now they are as far as I'm aware, so I'm going to of course go through them with you guys and talk about them a bit. So yeah, let's just jump straight into it. I don't want to spend too long here in the intro. Cassius crossbow getting its speed reduced by 5%. This was buffed a little while ago. I'm pretty sure they're just bringing it down to roughly where it was, but don't quote me on that. Then we have Furia with her new Exterminate. They've just tweaked the numbers on it to actually show what the balance change was, because I'm pretty sure it's the same as it was on the PTS, but I didn't really play it, didn't get a chance to go against it, so I'll have to give you my full thoughts on that when it does go into live, and I'll cover it in a video, of course. Don't know if I said it in a different PTS video, but I think this is a good way for Furia's Exterminate to work, where it just gets, more damaging over time to really punch the people who are stunned in it and don't grab CC reduction, all that stuff. It makes sense. I've talked about it even in other Fury videos, but I don't know if I did it on the PTS. Then we have Generals just getting straight buffs. Binary Star was broken, at least a new version of it on the test server, because he was still getting the full ammo count instead of the reduced 10, but now they're actually buffing the fire rate even more. I did try it on the PTS a bit, but because the ammo counter was bugged and not implemented properly, I didn't want to make a full video on it because it should have been reduced to 10, it was still 30. And then they're also buffing his healing output just by 10%, 300 to 330, 200 to 220. At least in casual stuff, from my experience, Generals seem to be doing fine, and I think the change to Binary Star makes sense. We'll have to see how it ends up working in live. Binary Star has always been a bit of an awkward talent to balance. It's either use a talent kind of a mainstay really strong, or not good enough. Then we have a nerf 2K as a new oppression talent. Most people were expecting this. It was a little bit too good. Something needed to be changed with it, and I think they have actually done it in the correct way. I'm glad they didn't just, nerf it into the ground, and this way I think it really targets what it should be targeting. That was a bad explanation, but yeah, now your mines have a lifetime of 6 seconds if you grab the talent. I think that's the right way for it to work, and maybe they should increase the time a little bit from where it's at, but this way you're going to have to be constantly redeploying your mines and not focusing on damage whilst you're also just spamming people a ton. There's a million other ways they could have nerfed it or changed it, but I'm glad they went in this sort of direction. I want to see it in live sort of close to how it was on the PTS, see how it does, and then hopefully they go from there. I imagine it could get nerfed again, maybe buffed a bit, but at least now it's staying as similar to what it should be. Don't want to repeat myself too much in this video, but if you haven't seen the other video where I cover this specifically, go and check it out and you'll see a full match with it and sort of how crazy it can get. Then moving on to the new champion, Lillith. She's getting a bunch of buffs and also a bunch of nerfs in the areas that I was hoping for, and I think most people were sort of expecting. We'll go through them. So straight up, she's just getting her ultimate charge 10% slower from her healing stuff. That makes sense. Her ultimate was charging way too quickly on the PTS for how strong she was. I think it could get nerfed possibly even further. We'll have to see how she does in live. She's also getting some changes with her primary fire. These were things that I noticed on the PTS, even with the lag, felt a little bit weird, but her fire rate's been buffed a bit, and her projectile size has also been increased by about 15%. So far, changes I very much agree with. Same pretty much for the Blood Hex, which is her right click her mark ability. The cooldown's gone up from 2.5 to 4, which I think is perfectly fine. They have reduced the damage on it, but not by a crazy amount, and then also increase the healing and reduce the range. Then moving on to her Swarm, which is her Q, changes that I really wasn't expecting, but the range has gone up, the duration's gone up, the cost has gone up, and then the healing has gone down. This is a really hard one for me to give you clear and concise thoughts on. All the other ones are pretty straightforward and I can really easily let you know how I feel, but because I haven't played with this and I played so much of the other version on the PTS, obviously I played the Lillith a ton, but I haven't actually, had this in hand, so it's really hard for me to judge it, but it doesn't seem to fix the problem that I was noticing on the PTS. The range was fine, the duration was technically fine, but the spammability on it was what was kind of crazy, and the healing being low, I guess, fixes that a tiny bit. Same thing with the cost, but you're still going to be spamming it. It's just going to heal for a bit less, but it'll be bigger, last longer, and you can actually buff both of those things with cards and also the healing a bit. So technically it brings more value to the cards, which is a good thing. I can't really judge it properly. I need to play with it. But overall, I think the changes to Lillith do make sense, especially the one with the F as well, which is increasing your air control and increasing the damage after you reactivate the F from 175 to 225. Still isn't crazy strong. The PTS was super laggy. The F was probably the worst ability actually when it came to delay and stuff. The Q was also pretty rough. Ton of stuff I could say about Lillith, but I think I'm going to leave most of it for the video that I'll make after I played her for 12 extra hours on live or whatever, the sort of recap thing I tend to do, because I haven't played with this in hand. But on paper, it all sounds really good, except for the Q possibly still being a bit of an issue. Do have a few things I'm going to be busy with in late April and May, but I'll try and still get the videos out in a relatively timely manner. Moving on to Mardampa, he's just getting, again, sort of a card description fix. Just in case you didn't know from the patch notes, the right click cooldown reduction was basically incorporated into his kit, and then that was changed into an alt gen card. So overall, just a buff to Damper, although technically a nerf if you use the card at like a really high level. Yeah, good change. I'm happy with it. Then we have Ceres getting some nerfs from where she was on the PTS, and also a buff to the new Agony, 8 seconds to 10, reduced stacks on Soul Collector from 15 to 12, and the stun going from 1.5 to 1, and then a bit of scaling reduction on wickedness. Sadly, not really much I can say about the Ceres changes because I didn't get a chance to play it on the PTS, didn't really have it in my matches that much either, but of course I'll cover it when it goes into live and give you my full thoughts in probably quite a long video because this is a pretty hefty set of changes to her. Then finally, to round out the PTS balance, we've got Jagawath getting a nerf to Siege Baguettes. It will now increase the cooldown of your Q by 2 seconds if you grab the talent. Sort of unnecessary in my opinion, but yep, there you go. And then also some changes to our ultimate, which also got some other changes in this update, making it sort of lock on. As far as I'm aware, I didn't really get a chance to try it out, but it'll now pull people faster, take a little bit less time before it pulls them and eats them, and also you'll have a little bit more health. Pretty, small stuff to end it on, to be honest. A pretty appropriate way to end it though. Yag has always proven to be a bit of a problem to balance, and yeah, love to hear your guys' thoughts of course on any of this. Like I said, there are quite a few things here and things that are actually going to make a pretty big difference. So yeah, a bunch of stuff for me to cover once the update goes live. I only got to about half the things that I had listed out for the update because it turned out to be quite a bit bigger than I was expecting. From what I said about the preview video, I thought it was going to be a pretty small to medium update. Turned out to be, I'd say, on the larger size. Not XL, like crazy big, but pretty hefty. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate you staying all the way till the end. Let me know what you want to see me do next. I'll try and get to the things that you guys request a little bit more over the other things that I need to cover when the update goes live. I'll see you all, really, really soon. And as always, stay frosty.